I have no idea what I'm doing. I bet you didn't think this was the direction this video was gonna go in. I want to try something a little different today. Something fun. We're not going to talk about study hacks. Really. We're not going to talk about organizing. We're just going to talk about some reactions to some graduation memes. And that's what we're going to do today. I just want us to be able to sit back, relax, and maybe you're watching this video on a break within a study session. In that case, relax. Don't do any heavy lifting. We're just going to have some fun and maybe even bond a little. So today I want to look at some graduation memes. This is going to be the first time I'm seeing them. I will share them with you for the first time, and let's enjoy. All you need is motivation. False. You need fear and an approaching deadline. That is so true. I can tell you that nothing gets you motivated than something being due at midnight. There are always those times when, as hard as you try to finish things early, you are still going to end up rushing at deadline, and that blows up your blood pressure. It gets you so super hyped. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that is the ultimate motivation. It is also the ultimate route to burnout. I've even had a situation where I was doing the final edits on a huge, massive term project. And I was getting ready to hand it in. I think it was like 4:30 in the afternoon. It wasn't due till 11 o'clock, but this professor was like 50% off at 11:01. He was super, super strict. And my laptop crashed. It was crazy. Like, I could not believe it. I like just immediately started crying. So yeah, there is nothing that will strike fear in your heart, or in the hearts of a student, as that approaching deadline. So I feel that one. I feel that one in my soul. Graduation speech. I would like to thank the internet, Google, Wikipedia, Microsoft Office, and copy and paste. Oh my god, yes, is this ever true? Especially before you discover Google Scholar. Now that there's the internet, you don't have to go out in the library anymore. You can just sit at home and Google everything you need to know, and I can tell you, I would be lost day to day without Google. I don't even remember how I functioned without having Google on my phone anymore. It was like, I remember vaguely having a cell phone that had internet access, but you didn't have the same kind of smartphones you use now. I even remember back in the days of the Razor, where you had the flip phones and you could go online kind of and download songs, but the idea of being able to use your phone as its own little mini computer was just so foreign. It was out there, you hadn't even heard of it, you didn't know it was coming. Back when I was a kid, I don't want to date myself here, but I remember back when I was a kid and you had to like figure out the Dewey Decimal System and let your fingers do the walk-in and go to the library and research and actually have dig through the books and look through the glossary, and you're sneezing and it's dusty. I would like to thank Google and the internet and Wikipedia. Actually, side note, I know we promised we wouldn't learn anything today, but everybody always says that Wikipedia is a horrible place to start your search for sources for any kind of project, but it's actually a good place because people upload it all the time. And just don't take your source from Wikipedia. Follow the source links until you get to the actual source and then vet that source out. So it is a good place to start your research, just don't end it there. Oh, get a job? Just get a job? Why don't I strap on my job helmet and squeeze down into a job cannon and fire off into Jobland, where jobs grow on jobbies? Oh my god, like I feel that right now too. So finding a job is always tough, and even before you get your master's, it's really tough, like just finding a regular job. And then when you have your master's, like where do you even begin? So many jobs are actually come down to networking now and who you know, and not so much your degree. I was in a co-op program in my university, so you actually had to have work experience in order to graduate. graduate. So you went out and you did an entire year, 3 semesters worth of on-the-ground work. And obviously everybody's hope at the end was that they were going to get hired on full time. But through that program, I actually found out that universities have their own super secret backdoor job listing posting thing for their alumni. So check out, if you are graduating, check out if your university has one as well. I had actually mentioned it to a couple people that I work with that also graduated from the same university that I did, and they didn't even know about it when we were looking for some people with degrees, and it's a well-kept secret, but you should be invited to it after you're an alumni, hopefully, or, you know, if you just ask around maybe with the co-op or the mentorship department. I'm not too sure. I found it through my co-op department, and then I got an email once I became an alumni after I graduated that also invited me to it. But you have to opt in. You can't just get an invitation. You have to actually go in and find it. I hope the first call you get after graduation isn't your college asking for donations. Oh my gosh. You pay so much in tuition. Like, I bootstrapped my way through university, so I only took as many classes as I could pay for at that time. So if I could only save up $2,000, that was only like 2 classes once you calculate in all of the extra costs, the rec fee. I'm like, I have never set foot into that gym. Our city also built a stadium, a football stadium, and that's like American / like North American football stadium for our city's team, which it was this gorgeous stadium, but they built it adjacent to my university because it was going to also double as our university's football home stadium. And so now, like, the city's promoting that they're building the stadium, but then all of a sudden on our university fees, we have this like stadium fee. So the students of the university ended up putting up a lot of the money for the stadium fee. Now, I could go on about this for a long time because this infuriated me. Well, I did use it. I actually went to a Beyonce and Jay-Z concert inside that stadium, but that is the only time I've set foot in that stadium. So maybe it was worth it, but not worth it enough. Anyways, long story short, that university, do not call me for donations right now. You took all of my money for the last several years. You get no more money from me. Like, go and scrounge it up from that stadium fee. I bet you didn't think this was the direction this video was gonna go in. Me deciding which 2 people are coming to my graduation. I graduated during the corona, so I did not get to attend my convocation. I do believe that a lot of the universities are going to have makeup convocations in person. For everybody that didn't get to have one, I think I didn't really look into it. And to be honest, I kind of sacrificed and let go of a lot of my convocation ceremonies just because I had so much going on. Our ceremony for the convocation was during the launch of my clinic. So I instead decided to be at my clinic and make sure that everything was running and my staff was trained and that everything was going well instead of attending my Zoom convocation. So I don't regret it at all. So don't feel bad for me. Like, this is the life that I chose, but it's, I don't know. I was posting actually on Instagram before that it just doesn't feel real, and I wonder if it would feel more real if I actually went through my convocation and got to wear my cap and gown and got to walk across the stage, but instead I got none of that. Our university didn't even send us out a cap, which I am super disappointed in, but this is not the point of that video. I am not this bitter, brooding woman that's just sitting here all upset about I made my choice. I'm totally fine with it. But I say that because I wonder if it would feel more real if I did go through all of those things rather than just kind of stopped having to attend classes and start living real life again. So I don't know. Anybody else that is graduating during these dark days. Let me know what you think. Is it just because you didn't have the cap and gown and all the pomp and circumstance, or is it because it's just hard to shift gears after having so many years in school? Let me know in the comments. Don't you dare use that as your senior picture, Mom. I love this. Not only because he is really doing the cosplay some justice. I love every part of it. The fact that he used that quote from his mom as his grad quote. The fact that he used the picture anyways. The fact that there is a dodo and a T-Rex in the background. Like, how do you not love every single piece of this? I don't even think I really need to comment on it. I think that this just stands for itself. Like, it's good. It's good. Jessie, listen to me. Remember your training. But I don't have any training. Yes, and that. I totally had imposter syndrome so many times in university. I always felt like I had no idea what I was doing. Regardless of how late in the year or advanced I was through coursework, I always had this feeling that I didn't understand something or I didn't know well enough. But at the same time, and I'm not saying this to brag or say that the other class members were not as smart as me or anything like that, but I do remember that one of my classmates or my friends would be like, I don't understand, and ask me a question, and then all of a sudden everything would just come rushing back. And it would just feel so naturally to explain it to them, even though 2 seconds ago you're staring at it and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But it just kind of came to you, and I think that is also the hallmark of good teaching, when you feel like you don't understand it. Not so much when you don't feel it, when you just understand it in this kind of subconscious level, and despite the fact that you can't always pinpoint where the knowledge is, it just comes to you almost instinctively, and you just start going through the motions, and it just comes to you, and everything just makes sense in the next stage and the next stage, and everything's just great. I had some amazing professors, especially in my labs, and they just made everything seem to make sense just on this almost instinctual level. And that's where I really shone. I really shone when I got to be in lab and, elbow deep and doing things, or doing dissections, or, doing experiments and stuff like that. Whereas in lecture, I always found it so much harder to focus and listen to the lecture and then take it in that way, because I am such a kinetic learner. I can't wait to hear your name horribly mispronounced at graduation. So this is probably one of those moments that I'm actually excited that I didn't have a live graduation, that I didn't attend, because I know my name was butchered. People have problems with my name all the time. I have a difficult name, Terrell. Usually people try and say it Terrell, like Cheryl, but it's actually Terrell. So yeah, I am not disappointed that my name was not butchered at grad. Or maybe it was, and because I wasn't there, I didn't know. In any case, I can be blissfully ignorant and not have to think about it. I did it for my cat. I feel this. I have a cat around here. Okay, maybe not around here. She comes and goes as she pleases. Her name is Monkey. She is my amazing little fur baby, and I love her. She tolerates me. We get along great. How close are you to quitting school? I graduate in December. I graduate in December. I graduate in December. I gotta keep reminding myself. Okay, I do feel this. There have been times, especially like so close to the end, when you're just like my last semester, I only had one class. I just had to take one class. It didn't matter what year, as long as it was a biology credit, and just getting motivated to take that one class was so hard. But it was just one of those situations where I could not get into the class. I couldn't get into any biology class in the first semester when I was supposed to graduate in December. And I was trying, I was on wait lists and everything, and I just could not get in. And so by the time January rolled around and I had to start this class, I had no motivation to even look at a textbook. And then I showed up to class and the professor had said, we're not using a textbook for this class. It's all lecture based. And I was like, good, because I don't have it in me to read a textbook. And then I was like, I don't even have it in me to attend lecture. But I did. I powered through it. It was so hard. But imagine if something, if I didn't have the support system that I had and I had dropped out 3 credits before graduating, and I was just exhausted from work and COVID and being in school for so long, and then the disappointment of not being able to graduate when I was supposed to. So I get that. I 100% get that. But when I was saying I graduate in December, I graduate in December, I graduate in December, suddenly I discovered I didn't graduate in December and I had to graduate in April because of one class. Like that just hurt my heart. C is for passing. C is for passing. That's good enough for me. Okay, so I don't have the best Cookie Monster impression, but I love that. I do remember there was one time when a coworker of mine, I was super burnt out, I was super tired. It was back in the beginning of my university career. I had just started, and I had foolishly tried to take a full course load. I tried to take 4 classes, plus work full time. Plus, I had my son, and I was drowning. I was not doing good. I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping. I was so overworked. I was so burnt out. And again, it was also because I was trying to get these amazing grades. I wanted to get like these perfect grades. And my coworker had taken me aside, and she's like, "You're so stressed out." And I was like, I am. I just have to get through it. She's like, no. She's like, you know what, like, just go through the motions, get through it. And I'm just like, no, I have to study, I have to do this, I have to do that, I need to get great grades. And she's like, no, C's get degrees. And I was like, C's get degrees, like progress over perfection. If I got a C in one of my classes, especially if I got it in a class that didn't matter so much, was it going to be the end of the world? I still had the pass, I could still make up my GPA in other areas. And sometimes it's sanity over perfection, like just progress over perfection. Sometimes you just have to take a C and call it a day. And once I got that, like once I got C's get degrees, it was so much easier. I tried to never take 4 classes again because that was just so much, also working so many hours. But yeah, I do think that sometimes, especially if it's a really hard class that you just are not getting, sometimes passing has got to be good enough. Let's do one more. Panic because I didn't study for the final exam. Wake up from dream and realize I work full time now. That is true. I still have sometimes in the early waking hours, I'll be like, oh my God, did I do my homework? Did I study? I haven't studied for days. And then I realize I don't go to school anymore. I'm done. I'm graduated. I don't have to go back. I've thought about going back a couple of times, but I just haven't gotten there yet. I'd rather take a break, work on building my brand and launching my companies, and go about it a little bit later. It's never too late to go back to school and expand your learning, and I think it's okay if I take some time off just to focus on myself, my needs, building my business, and helping my students. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to have a couple more out that are just a little bit more conversational. Let's just hang out and take a break from studying. We all need breaks. We need to be able to have fun, relax, chill out. And even if it's laughing at ourselves and laughing at our graduation, laughing at some of the things that we had to go through so far while we were trying to get to graduation, that's okay. I think that it is so important not to take yourself so seriously. So, like this video, subscribe to my channel. I put out a new video every Thursday, and it is usually about homework help. study tips, organizational hacks that will help you through the study struggle. I do have a great study planner if you are still in school. Check it out in the description. It has more than 20 different study activities that you can track over the course of the semester to make sure that you cover all of the material and content and have the best chances during your final exam. You can also visit my website for more useful resources, www.absolutelystudying.com. And until next time, I hope you have an amazing adventure.